So I've got a whole bunch of hardwood timber scraps that have been lying around for ages, and I'm going to turn them into a coconut scraper in this series. As you can see, the timber's in all sorts of conditions. Some of it's got paint on it, some of it's cracked, some of it's got holes in it or varnish, and that's why we need this magic machine, the table saw. Table saw is going to turn all this old timber into new timber. So just set it up, connect it up to a vacuum cleaner, help deal with this sawdust. And then here I'm putting the thinnest bit of scrap timber in between the saw blade and the fence. And this is going to be the thickness of all of the timber at the end of it. So I'm just tapping that fence in a couple more millimeters, clean up one side so that it's nice and parallel, and then run the rest of the scraps of timber through. And once again, this is to make sure that they're all the same thickness so we can turn them into boards later. And then here, just tapping in that fence a couple more millimeters to give me final thickness of 2.5 centimeters, and then running the other side of each scrap of timber through the table saw to clean it up. And then doing the same thing with the edges of it as well, so that it's all nice and square and parallel, but it sure makes a lot of sawdust, so it's time to have a quick cleanup and then take a look at the timber that we got out of that process. Yeah, and it's a pretty good haul of nice hardwood that we can make a coconut scraper out of. I didn't use that piece in the front that has lots of nail holes in it. It was a little bit too rough to use, but the rest of it was really useful. And then I just sort of arranged some into a symmetrical pattern to show off the different colors and the different kind of grain that you have. And this is the aim. We want a coconut scraper that's about 800 long and about 350 high with 2 legs and a top. Yep, so this is what I've arranged. So this part's going to be the top. There's a couple of braces for the sides, and then I'll make legs out of the rest of that timber there. So just measuring up, making sure that I've got 800 in the top, and again trying to avoid any of the gnarly bits, like the nail holes and the knot holes and things like that. And this square's got a useful 45-degree angle on it as well, so I can quickly give an approximation of where I'm going to cut it later on. And then I'm labeling all the different pieces of timber so I don't get them mixed up. Alright, just got to cut them to length now, so using the drop saw, simple, especially with the legs, they're all going to be the same length, so I can square off the ends. And then flip them all around as a bunch. And then make sure that it's all, square at one end, and then you can cut everything together. Now all those pieces are guaranteed to be the same length. And then the drop saw flips to 45 degrees as well, so it's really easy to cut the rest of those other pieces at the correct angle. It's not the final cut. I'll trim it up later on after everything's assembled, but it gives you an idea of the pieces for the top, the legs, and the sides. And in the next episode, we'll be putting them all together. So thanks for watching. See you in the next episode. We'll make a coconut scraper.